And what were your parents' names?
Hensley.
Hensley.
Mm-hmm.
And your father's occupation?
Farmer.
Did you have any brothers or sisters?
Yes, I had 4 sisters and 1 brother.
Did you ever have a job while in Indian Territory?
No, I never had a job there, only working in the field, and job in Arkansas, but working in the field.
Working in the field. And what church did you attend?
Well, we attended Baptist, Methodist, and others, I suppose, that I can't call. And the church that I remember best was a log cabin, log house, with puncheon floors, not plank, as logs there, the floors, logs with it.
What kind of windows did you all have in it? Did you all have glass windows, or was it?
We didn't have a window.
You didn't have a window in it?
There's 2 doors and no window.
And, let me see, where was your church located? Where was that church located?
Well, it is located right there in Van Buren County, right at us.
Right near the town?
Yes, it is in sight of us where we live.
Mm-hmm.
And then about 3 miles and a half was the nearest store.
What was the average attendance of the church?
Well, it is about, they'd sometimes hold protracted meeting, and it would be 2 or 3 weeks. Otherwise, is once a month, Saturdays and Sundays.
Well, about how many people went to church?
Oh, well, there's lots of them. I couldn't tell you this.
Quite a few people went to church. Mm-hmm. And what kind of transportation, what kind of ways did you have to get around in those days?
Horseback and wagon.
And wagon, mm-hmm. And did anybody ever walk? If they didn't, did they walk very far? Did y'all do much walking then?
I walked 5 miles to church many a time, and everybody around us, I know did.
They did?
Yeah, but we had one right close to us.
And what was the conditions of the road?
Well, there's awful rock in the road.
And how did people take care of the roads?
Well, they worked them once a month, I think. They'd all of the men in the county would gather and all work the roads.
They did. What kind of entertainment did you all have?
Oh, we had dances and play parties and such as that.
You did. Did you all go on picnics or anything like that?
There wasn't a picnic in my life till come here.
Oh, my goodness. What was your husband's occupation?
Farmer.
He was. And what did you all raise?
Oh, corn and cane and broom corn and sorghum cane, broom corn.
Did you raise cotton?
And corn and cotton.
Mm-hmm.
And
there weren't any theaters when you first moved to Indian Territory. There weren't any movie theaters at all.
No what?
Movie theaters. There weren't any movie theaters, were there?
No, I don't think so.
And can you give me the approximate income of a family when you were first married?
No. You mean my husband's family or?
No, just how much the average person made.
No, I couldn't.
But it wasn't very much, was it?
Just barely get by, that's all.
Mm-hmm. Did you all have any hospitals or doctors?
No hospitals and doctors. We had what you call quack doctors.
They didn't have any formal education?
No, they just made doctors of the field.
Was there a fire station?
No, ma'am, no fire station.
Well, what happened when there was a fire?
Well, they were what is fire burnt down.
So they just had to have left in, didn't they? And can you tell me the size of the town that you lived in Indian Territory?
Of what?
The size of the town.
No, I couldn't.
Well, about how many stores did it have in it?
Oh, well, it had 3 or 4, I forget which.
Stores and...
And stores and one one hotel.
You did. What was the water supply at this time?
Well, it was good, but you had to dig wells in that you drawed with a pulley and a bucket, you know.
Oh, there wasn't any running water in the house. And did you all have a sewage system?
No, ma'am.
And what were the climatic conditions?
You mean how the climate was?
Then.
Well, it was very cold through the winter.
You mean it's gotten warmer through the years, you think?
Well, I think it has a whole lot.
And do you know about how long it took for a letter to be delivered, around 100 miles?
No, I do not.
And how was the mail carried?
Well, it was carried as just a stagecoach. It carried the mail. They called it stagecoach then.
Did they have Pony Express? They did. And where did you attend school?
Well, I attended there in Van Buren County on Archie's Fork was the peak for you to know.
And what building was the school held?
What was it?
Well, what building was the school building?
Well, it is a log building, and it had punching floors. It had punching seats, you know, benches.
Mm-hmm. Wasn't that the building that they also used for church services?
Yes, that's yes,
And what kind of books did you have in school?
Well, we had the first reader's ABC book.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the next was first, second, and third, and fourth, and on up, you know, if anybody's lucky enough to go on up.
But most people didn't go higher than the third or fourth grade.
Schools wouldn't last long back there, hardly ever. They'd start, but they'd soon break up.
How was your house lighted?
With a grease lamp and pine knots. And then it finally become, we had coal oil lights.
They did. Well, you were telling me something about how they fixed the wick in...
Well, they took a string, a big string, and they'd twist it till it would lay together tight. And they'd put that in a pan and put the grease in there, and that's the way they had the wicks. Now, sort of like that, but you can't see the twisting.
And how was your house heated?
Our fireplace, wood fireplace, just chimney, and we cooked on the fireplace, and just that was all we had. We didn't have no way of any other fire.
Could most people read?
Well, part of them could, and part of them, the grown ones, and lots growed up that couldn't read.
Did they write? Did they know how to write?
Well, some of them did, just like they knew how to read, and some didn't.
Were there very many killings?
No, I don't think so, there was.
At least not that you'd heard of, anyway. Did you attend the wedding between the Indian and Oklahoma Territory?
No, ma'am.
Can you see any real difference in, since Oklahoma has become a state than it was an Indian Territory?
Well, it seems to me like there's a big difference.
Can you tell me?
Well, it's just been more happenings, killings, and crimes than it was then.
That's it. Were there any clothing stores?
Yes, there's clothing stores.
Did very many people buy their clothes, or did they usually sell them?
Yeah, they bought them in the Indian Territory. They had to come here, but they didn't buy them. They made them in Arkansas. They'd card the cotton, spin the thread on a spinning wheel, warp it off and put it in the loom and weave their cloth. We thought we had pretty dresses when we weave our
Well, then you never did even buy anything when you in Arkansas.
Not till I was grown.
What were the furnishings in your home like?
Well, it is old homemade bedsteads, cord rope, and no slats. The rope answered for the slats, you know.
Mm-hmm.
It'd go across one way and then the other. and that helped to build it, you know.
Mm-hmm. And can you tell me what your kitchen was like? How it was?
Well, when we had a kitchen, why, it was just a big fireplace to cook on, and pot vessels. We didn't have no pans. It all had to be skillets and pots.
Now, did you have houses like we do today, or was it just one big room?
Well, it was most all is one room, and sometimes it wasn't so big as that.
Can you tell me how they put a roof on the house?
Well, they cut down trees, and they'd saw them off at the length of the boards, that long or longer.
That 4 feet?
Of course, they'd have to have rafters up there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they'd put the roof down and put weight poles on it to hold the roof on. They'd pin the end of the weight poles to the wall, and then they'd lay the weight poles on, and that's the way the roof was held.
Oh, I see. Did your eating habits differ from what they do now? Were they any different than they are now, the food that you ate?
Oh, yes. We lived on vegetables such as that mostly. Although we had plenty of meat, that is whole meat.
Mm-hmm.
And beef, they had both.
But you didn't eat as many sweets as we did today, did you?
No. And we never did know what canned food was.
About how many sacks of flour or of sugar did you get?
Well, we got 10 pounds a year.
10 pounds a year, and it lasted you for a whole year?
No, sometimes it wouldn't last, but that's all we got.
Oh, I see. How did you preserve your foods?
Preserve it? Well, if you mean fruit...
Anything, all your food, how did you store
we
them?
We peeled the scaffolds built, and we had wide plank across them scaffolds. Well, we peeled our peaches or apples and put them on them plank and sun-dried them.
Mm-hmm.
And night come, he had blocks between, and he'd set one plank right upon another till he got them all on top, and then put a plank over to cover them. It ain't none of it no count, but that's all I can think of.
Oh, that's okay. And how did you store your meat?
Store meat?
Your meat, uh-huh.
Well, we'd kill it, and we had a smokehouse, and we had a long bench in there. We'd salt it down, let it lie till it took salt good, and then we'd hang it and put blow smokes in it.
And can you tell me how you made your soap that time?
I can. I've carried water enough to pour on it to remember. Well, we'd take out our ashes. They burnt good green wood, and it made strong lye. And we'd take them out all through the winter till we got the hoppers, they called them, full. And then in the spring, we'd carry and pour water on them till it got to dripping lye. We always had something on the pitcher to pour, and we made her soap like that, with ashes drip, lye from ashes. Well, we'd go to the branch or the spring, and we had big trees sawed for troughs to wash in, and there's dug out, you know. They'd dig them out with I forget what to call them. Anyway, they'd dig them out and make troughs of them, hold water. And they'd bore a hole in the trough. They had to have a stopper for it. And they'd take a wood stopper, a corn cob, and stop them holes when they wanted to hold the water, and then flip it out and take it out. And the rattling stick would be about that long, and the handle hewed off, small enough. And the thing that hit the clothes were wide. And they'd stand and battle them clothes and try their best to Battle of Dirt Out, you know. And we had no rubberboard. We didn't know of anything as rubberboard.
And did you all use soap when you were washing your clothes?
Huh?
Did you all use soap when you were washing your clothes?
Yes.
Your lye soap that you made?
That's all we had, was lye soap we made. It washed awful good, but sometimes we'd throw our clothes in the branch, and when we went to ranching, they'd get them clean while we'd throw them in the branch and wade in and stand there and wash them. But we wouldn't in cold weather, but a heap times in the summer we would.
Oh, I see. Can you tell me the way that you colored your thread?
Yes, we'd go out and peel bark off of trees. There'd be certain trees dry one color and certain another. And or we'd bake a heap of times to get pine tops and bought them. Let's see, what was it that dyed? Picture. Dyed the pretty green, you know, but they'd have to use copper in it to make it green, you know. And we'd boil these shoemaker berries and dye black with them, you know. We had all colors, same as they do now, but we had to dye them ourselves, you know, with bark. We didn't have it ready fixed first.
And that information was handed down from you through your parents and stuff like that to learn the colors, wasn't it?
Yes. I believe it was.
Can you tell me how you weave the cloth?
Well, we worked it off on the working bars. Put it on a frame and the working bars on the house. We'd go back and forth and work that off, ready for the loom. And then they had harness on the loom that they drove the thread through. And a big roller behind the loom to wind the thread all up on. And you could let the thread off when you got ready to let it off when you was weaving, you know. It had pedals. And they'd trump the pedals and shove the shuttle through the rest good. It had the spool of thread on it, you know. It is the spool of thread was on cobs. It was collared so they'd go on the frames and fill up. And there's a batter to the loom. Then you'd shove your shuttle through, or you'd give this batter to 3 knobs, shove your shuttle back and give it to 3 knobs. That's just about the best I could tell you.
Well, that was just fine. Did it take you, when you first learned, how old were you? Do you remember about how old you were when you first started?
Well, I was about... ever since I can remember, that's the way they're done, you know, but before I got to doing anything, I guess I was 11 or 12.
Did it take you very long to learn how to...
Oh, no,
work that?
Easy learning.
And did you all do much embroidery work at that time?
We didn't do any embroidery work, but we tied our lace.
You did?
We'd spin thread, you know. And we'd wind it. Oh, I can't call it. I'll not try to tell that.
Okay. Thank you very much, Miss Rogers.
Yeah.
This is an interview with Mrs. Martha Melissa Rogers on April the 17th, 1956, told to Dianne Showers, a senior in Ardmore High School.